Okay. So, hi everyone. We are today again with Remy, my brother. We're gonna talk about AI and how it's gonna certainly affect our life in the future and how we can be maybe more variable and what we should, I would say, obsessed over in the next 10, 15 years. So Remy has a interesting, I would say, uh, point of view because he's in the 42 school in Singapore, and so he see and work with AI every day, and he see other students working with AI every day, and he's like, I would say, really close to what's happening on the new people that gonna, I would say, enter the workforce like in 2 to 3 years. So maybe Remy, can you like explain as of today in 42 school, you and the other student, how do you use AI if you use it or no?
Yes, absolutely. Um, so yeah, first of all, it's a pleasure to be here again with you, Omar. And how do we use AI in our environment? Is that your question?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's like that's also funny how fast it goes because when I joined, so it's a year ago. A year ago, I joined 42 school here in Singapore, and in the subject of our project, it wasn't mentioned anything about AI. But 6 months ago, they update all of the subjects, and now there is a section about AI and how you must work with it, kind of. So it's not so strict, right? From coming from the 42 school, it's known to be uh, difficult, but it's kind of army philosophy where like you have a set of rules that you have to follow and it's super strict, and if like when you fail a project you won't get 50. It's either you get 0 or 100. So I thought they will come up with AI saying no AI, that's all. But actually no, they they kind of like go with the market. Actually, that's what I feel like we know AI is here. You can and you should use it as a helper for learning. And so they want us to use AI to be like a assistant, a teacher assistant that will explain like some concept step by step. They want even we can use AI well, within our code, like explain this snippet of code. What does that function do? These kind of things. But of course, we are not supposed to generate our some like the code that we're going to submit by AI. This still should be written by us.
But
And
they can't like no, right?
absolutely, they actually, yeah. I learned that like a few weeks ago. I thought that when you log on a PC, right, then everyone like the staff can know like what you're doing right now, what is on your screen. I thought they could monitor literally
Uh-huh.
everything, and but the staff told me no, absolutely not. You can go you can go and put her. I would not know. So I was like, oh okay, and I don't know if they used to, but he told me it's because of the RGPD, like confidential information, blah blah blah. So yeah, they don't know. They absolutely don't know if our code was AI generated. So as students, we are responsible of making everyone respect these rules or not. So because right, it's a evaluation system. As a reminder, like no teacher and no class. So as students, we go evaluate the project of our peers, and it's the only way we can pass and go through the curriculum, right? So, I mean, I've evaluated, of course, project that I could see that 80% of it was written by AI. It does happen. So,
And I have a question about this because, well, most of the people would say like bluntly and maybe a bit like stupidly like, okay, it's AI, so you cheated, right?
yeah,
My question is, if a student like let's take it to the extreme, like he generated like 100% of his code with
yeah.
AI, he never wrote anything. Is this really a problem? Or actually, can he do this and can he work after and it's good? Is it like fundamentally, is it a problem for him or no? On your
Um,
point of view?
Yeah, that's a good question. Actually, this situation happened.
Oh, cool. Okay.
I remember I used to. I mean, I come at school early, and I see on my like the school my school calendar that someone booked my slot at 7 a.m. I was like, who the hell is gonna evaluate at 7 a.m.? I used to be alone at school at that time,
Okay.
and I meet this lady. So right straight away, I kind of like, you read the evaluation sheet and you start to engage the conversation, and that also I have an other information that I'm what we call the last evaluator for her to pass her project. That means like before me, two other evaluators help her evaluate the project, and they pass her right 100.
Okay.
So I thought, okay, this is gonna be let's say easy eval, like
Yeah.
because two other people they already passed her 100%, so it seems like everything is fine, right? And something happened, something funny happened. I'm reading like the string length function, right? The function that calculate the length of a string, right? And I asked her, all right, can you write the main testing this function? And then she does something really funny. She opened Gemini, and and then I told her, no, I ask you, like actual you, to write a main. And then she said, oh, but that's how I write my main. So then so then I understood, right? At this point, I understood. Okay, obviously, so she doesn't know how to write a main, so she also she used AI to write all of the functions in her code. So I said, it's fine. We're gonna go through a few more functions, and we're gonna write the main together, and I'm gonna ask you like if you understand, because you're right, like if everything is AI generated but she can explain it to me and she can understand her code, then I guess it's fine, right? Because at the end of the day, if the code is working and is expected to do what you want him to do, it's fine, right? It's just a program. So that's kind of what happened. We wrote some main together. The evaluation lasted like 1 hour and a half instead of 30 minutes. And she, like, I mean, obviously, she was a bit. It was a bit difficult for her to explain some of the most complex function, like split, for example. I for this function, I knew like writing a main would be challenging, so we did take the time to do it together. And then at the end of the eval, I asked her like, "Do you want me to pass you?" And she gave me a funny reaction. She was, she was, she was stupefied. Like, um, what's the expression? She told me like, what? Like, she was surprised that I asked this question. She was surprised. Like, what do you mean? Of course you should pass me. My code works. But then I told her like, because by the way, this was the first project of the Common Core, right? libft. When you
Oh,
do
first project.
you
Okay.
Yeah. But so then I told her like, I mean, we both know that you didn't write this code. So now I'm asking because I don't care, right? I'm not the one. I'm not. I mean, my libft is fine, and um, are you fine to keep going on the core like this, generating code, or do you want me to fail you and give you the chance to retry and you actually write the functions? Like I was like, because yeah, she kind of like respected the requirements, right? Uh, she couldn't explain most of it, but it works. So yeah, I decided, you know what? I'm gonna ask her honestly, like, what do you want me to do? Do I pass you or I fail you? So if she decided that she wanted to pass. So I did. I passed her. I wrote a review that said basically that um, you should train. You can train. You can also train to write your function. It will, and I mean, at least main, so you understand and you can explain what the function actually do. And then, so she passed, right? Then something funny happened. I think, I don't know, like 2 months ago, for the next circle, right? Basically, she black hole. So she stopped coming.
Oh.
She didn't do the next project, and she got out of school. So yeah, that's how
Oh.
it ended up. Yeah.
So do you think from this experience that if someone that choose only AI, like the cognitive load, because he doesn't understand anything, because he just like ask AI to advance on more and more complex projects, can't be manageable, and so people don't understand anything and just crash?
Actually, that's what is happening. Yeah. So, I mean, the thing is not about AI itself, I think. Really, it's not, because this person was not honest with herself, right? It's like she could have told me, hey, you know what? I generated the whole project, but I can explain most of it, but yeah, just so you know, I generated most of it because I'm not interested into this function. I'm most interested in later on project. Like, she could have come up with something like that, and she could have, because she could have defend a bit, like defend the fact that I found out on the spot that yeah.
Oh, yeah, because you think she tried to hide it?
Yeah.
Okay.
She wanted, obviously, me to believe that she actually wrote the code.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, and now, as we go do more like complex project, like there is a project that is mini shell. So this project is massive, right? You do have like thousands of lines of code, multiple files, and the thing is, 42 is given us an opportunity as making this project as a group project of 2. So I've seen people, and I think it's fine, being like, okay, I'm going to partner up with you because I still suck at coding, right? And I mostly generate all my code. And I'll be honest with you, like, I will do the most easiest part, and the part that I can vibe code. And if you go on with the more complex, that'd be nice. And actually, it works. Like, because most of the time, the person that is not using AI so much and want to like actually learn what is the concept behind the shell, right? How does the shell understand that is a command? All this kind of and when you're giving a pipeline, a series of commands, like kind of the parsing context that is actually close to how to write an actual programming language, right? So this because the difficult part in a shell is here. So this person will be fine doing this. Meanwhile, the other one maybe will do the built-in commands, like the commands like echo, so print a message on a screen, so the easy stuff. And
so when you say that, I have the impression that you naturally say that the person that do the more complex thing is better at coding and use less AI than the person that is, I would say, less competent, have less skill and use more AI. Do you see a relation here between like skills and the ratio at how they use AI? Like, the more you use AI, the dumber you are, or the less you use AI, the smarter you are. Like, if I really like put this into extremes, do you see this or no?
Yes.
Oh, you do see this, okay.
I think there is a ratio that the more you prompt AI, the dumber you are. In some, what do I mean by that? I mean, I remember I used to prompt AI a lot, and without because I was not reading what the AI gave me, right? I was assuming that, okay, if I skim through the AI response, I will know suddenly. But so what do? I will prompt it again and again. So I think it's a good kickstart, right? But what I see in 42 is that one person will get like, you want to get more familiar with a concept like, let's say, parsing. So you will prompt the AI like, how explain to me roughly in a shell, in a common terminal, how does the parsing happen? So the AI will come up with an answer, and then they will either stop on the answer and like try to think about it and try to code out a small program, or even the AI will actually give you a snippet of code that is enough to represent an example, and then the on from there they will code out something. They will do some more deep research, maybe also using the AI. But the thing that I see is that it's not all about prompting the AI. Then you still have to do some work, right? So I see this relationship between the person that implement, and at the beginning actually is the person that want to understand the low level concept is gonna like succeed more in his project. Let's say that someone that just want to get the project done.
So you would see that the relationship is more like if someone wants to understand how does it work at the low level, they use less AI and they want to they don't do the project just to do it. They want to do the project to understand how under the hood things works. And these people are more skilled than the people that just want to get the project done. And if they could have all the project generated, they would like copy paste it and that's it.
Yeah, this relationship is a bit like that. Yeah.
Do you think people like the second one, so the people that want just to copy paste? Do you think these kind of people have a chance in the workforce?
Well, I think they do if they understand what they are doing.
So they still need to understand what they copy paste.
Yeah.
Which is hard because if they only copy paste, they never understand, right?
Yeah, exactly. So, but the thing is funny because I know someone that works with a team that he's working with some people that does that. And it kind of works for a time. What do I mean? Because now that we have agentic AI, right? He, let's say, have his AI that will do the understanding part of that he should be doing. Like, for example, okay, because in this context, they are working in a website, in a website environment, web app that it's been using by thousands of users, like I think maybe 50,000 users. So it's quite big. And I mean, you cannot be 1% wrong in this kind of thing. Right?
Yeah.
So they will iterate so much, right? It's
how does it, if it doesn't understand what's coming out, how does it know that the next prompt is better than the last one?
Exactly. And that's why he's iterating so much. And in one month of iteration, let's say, because right now they want to replace the customer service that is mostly human by agents.
Mm-hmm.
So they've been trying this one for 1 month, and the results are not good actually. And because the thing is, they have a structure that is not that good. But I mean, it's not that it's not that good. I think is that the person that is going to come and vibe code on top of that is going to make it worse. Because he's going to do a lot of duplication of code. He's going to go to some path that is definitely not the fastest, right? Because if you think about it, like if someone has built an API that works so well, but it's like it's not the average at all. It's specific to this system. The AI doesn't care about that, right? The AI is going to come with the average thing that works. So they've been building these average things that works on top of I think it's a good thing because it's more than 15 years old and it handles 50,000 people, right? But the AI has been stacking on sheet on top of sheet. So now the request it takes later. It takes more time that if a human will actually reply to the customer. It's fucking funny. So and then there is these people. They are here. They are working on this, and they've been working on this for 1 month, and they are paid for that. And they will showcase their project
Yeah, so
and
they are in the workforce. They only use AI, but they are still paid.
yeah, absolutely. So they are. I think it will come to a limit when someone that is a tech guy that will come inside and like, because the thing is like most of the time, right, the tech guy is not will not like at some point like a manager to be able to see that okay, this thing need to change. He will need to know why exactly. Like, I mean, okay, it takes more time. Right now the manager might be saying like, this thing actually takes more time than when it was human, like you guys failed. But the thing is like endless loop, because the AI team is gonna just generate some more code, right? Then you're gonna ask AI to make it faster, so it's gonna break something else on the right, and but the you know what I mean. So I think until someone that maybe have been created this system come inside and see like the tons of the piles of shit and actually like do this like very precise work of debugging and rewire everything the correct way, then these guys will still be there. You know what I mean? Because until someone can know what is wrong in terms of system design, architecture, and rewire the thing, then from what I look like when I discussed with with this guy, he told me that yeah, they are still this project, they are still working it, and he told me how fast they can ship, right? And 1 month from now, well, the shipment is not is the manager, the N+1 is not satisfied by the shipment. So yeah, so to respond to your question is it doesn't mean you cannot have a work, because obviously these guys are working right now. But to what limit, right? I think it's like it's a trend. I see this as a like these people are surfing on a trend. And then the thing is like we also don't know how the trend is gonna go. If the trend is gonna keep going that way, and then the manager is gonna like because manager is gonna go on the hype, and maybe we actually don't want something that actually work fast, but we want something that is AI generated and looks cool in an AI way, you know.
And so I have a comment on this. You're gonna laugh. I met a guy here in Taiwan that, so he's a backend developer, and I asked him, "What do you do exactly?" He said, "Oh, it's easy. People give me AI slop that doesn't work, and my work is to clean this fucking shit up and make it work again." And he does only that. His work is like cleaning AI generated code.
That's fucking amazing.
For stuff like e-commerce website or equivalent. So stuff that are pretty easy to do, right? Like code for e-commerce website is like basically that, like certainly one of the most used code in internet, right? You have frameworks everywhere, you have Shopify or whatever. It's not like you are trying to code like a fucking OS or anything, right? It's something that is pretty known how to do, right? And even this, he said to me, yeah, nothing works. Like, okay, he said it's useful because they use this to have like quick MVPs. They have quick landing page. They have quick something like sometimes barely works. And he say like the moment they want to modify something, they break something, they don't know how to do it, and they send it to me to fix it up.
Yeah.
And he say I never had like more works than today.
That's fucking funny, man. Yeah, I think that's a really good point. Like AI is good to give, like it will actually code you your dream app, and then it's like you look at your app, you're like, okay, I mean it's impressive, right? Because it works and it looks quite good, but then I mean thousands of these apps looks the same. So how are you going to convince someone that yours is better and to come the customer? Well, you want to make it unique. So you want to modify it, but that's where you breaking
Yeah,
something.
yeah, that's why everything breaks. Actually, this is like, I think it's one of the best arguments against the, I would say the
Abuse of
the
AI.
abuse of AI. Yes, because this is what I see in my field, like in 3D, so 3D animation and image generation. So as of today, like image AI image generation is like pretty damn good. You can do like really really insane stuff as quality, but it's not really controllable. Even if you still use, you have like more and more tools to do it, and if you want to control it, even if you have tools, that it's become to be like really complicated. Like you need skill to do it. You can't do like just with a prompt. You need to like export a 3D pass, give it like a depth information image to, so you can understand what it's in front, what it's backside. Cool. Ask someone that do only from what's the depth information image. You're gonna say, I don't know, right? You can say like what we call a canny pass to, so you can understand like the control of objects, and so you can create your own composition and stuff. Same. Tell this to anyone that don't understand how 3D works or even like how composition works, and he's fucked up, right? So it does take more skills to do. So it does become again like a real work. But if you take only the prompt side, you have an insane output in quality, but you have low control. And so what you happen is like every fucking generated image like look quite the same. And you are like, yeah, good, but now, and this is why people, they call this, like a lot of people say like it's AI slop. And I think what they mean by that is, I know it's AI because it's always the same. And like you said, like everything is worth doing is like, it's because it's unique in a certain way. Because if you do something that has been already done and that people have already see, like you said, there is no, I would say, drive in the people to get your product or see your movie or whatever, because it's the same of everything else, right? And so I think this is maybe why the AI can fall really short. It's like you can't do something. It's really hard, I would say, to do something that is unique. And if you want to do something that is unique with AI, it does require a lot of work. And I think sometimes the work required to have something unique and workable with AI is more than if you would have done this unique part without AI. But what's interesting is like AI, from what I see, it can be really interesting to do stuff that you need everywhere. Like you need a notification system in your app. Like you can use AI to do it, and you like this. You don't need to have a fucking like npm bitch module that gets you like 25 dependencies. You can just have the snippet code of the AI for the notifications. You ask him a specific API, and you never think about it again, because everybody has done it before, and you don't want to lose time on this kind of shit when you do your app, right? And I think for stuff that already exist and that are well known, to have them as like small modules that you could by AI with, and you try to ask the AI to make a smart API so you can use it after, I think it can be quite smart. Like, I don't know. Let's imagine you want to, like, you have an app and your app need to read and write file on your computer, right? Which is pretty basic, right? And you could like do the old way, and let's imagine you code in Python and you can like look the API directly in Python, how to open a file, whatever. And you see it's quite complicated because files are streamed, they are not like variable, so you can't say just open it. You can just call write and it's working. You need to open it, do a loop on it, etc. So it's not that easy as it sounds, but you could say, yeah, but I don't care. People have done it like thousands of times, right? So why don't I just ask the AI to give me like 3 functions? One that read a file, write a file, and list me like a directory with the full file name, the full file path for every file. And that's it. And the AI could give you this in 1 minute, and you could use this code for the next 10 years, right?
Yeah.
So for me, like at this point, like when you use something that is really like, you don't need the context of the app to make it work. So it's like, it's not like hungry of context. It's really small. And it has been done like thousands of times already. For me, like the use of AI for this kind of stuff makes a lot of sense. But first of all, I would say like the counter argument to this is that it's never that easy in real life. Because let's take the example of the file system. you take it back and say, oh, cool. But now I would like to have a system that my file system, when I write in the file, instead of just overwriting it, I want to take the file, make it in a temp, write another file like this. If it crash between, the file is not lost. And after, when he finish, he removes the temp file and he kills the new one, right? A lot of software works like this. And you say this, you say, so I need to modify the code that have been written by AI, right? Well, out of this, as simple as this, you already have like one of 50% chance that AI would change the behavior of your stuff without you knowing it. And you do this, and this is only one example, but statistically, you will need to modify the behavior of what you did for your needs. And actually, I think like most of the module you do are never that, I would say, independent. You always need to have a layer of dependency because of what you do. All you do is kind of the same, but always a bit different. And I would say it's like this always a bit different for every single app that makes you, I would say, like, fucks it up. And I would say for this AI is pretty bad. It's easy to do like stuff that are generalizable, like with once again a notification system. But once you want to modify the notification system, for example, you want to, I don't know, you have the basics like Google, Facebook, email, and you want to say, okay, I'm sick about the password system. How can I do to have just like an email and token? Well, good luck to modify your stuff so it works, because you're gonna say this and the AI you're gonna keep like a password only for Facebook, and you won't know why. And it's so it starts to be a fucking mess. I would say like if you can't understand what the AI is writing, is like, I don't see how you can be a good engineer. It makes no sense to me. But I still think you can be a workforce if you don't understand, because I'm gonna be a bit harsh here, but this is what I see, right? I see this in 3D image generation and code development. I'm sorry, but most of the people that works, they don't understand shit of what they do. Like, I'm sorry, but 80% of people that work, especially in code, and same in 3D for me, like, their understanding of the basic concept is close to zero. Like, it's insane. Like, I can give you an example of me when I wanted to recruit some 3D teacher, and the fundamental of the job for 3D teacher is to explain concept, right? So I do like something like 50 to 100 interview, and at each interview I said, okay, I'm gonna be like play the student, and I'm gonna ask you a question. Can you explain me, as I'm the student, how it works, right? And you have to understand, like, it's people that most of the people has like between 5 and 15 years of experience, right? One of them like was like happy and really proud of me to tell me I worked 2 years at Disney, I'm fucking good. I was like, okay, come on, let's go, right? I was pretty excited too, right? And I asked him to explain me something, and they don't know what they fucking speaking about. It's insane. It's like, oh yeah, you do this, you move the button here and you have more white. I'm like, come on, fucking piece of shit. Are you kidding me here? Are you really like, I'm asking you a question and your answer is you move the button and you have more white? Like, a fucking 5-year-old kid could say this to me. I want you to explain me what's white, how it works, what the buttons do, what's the math behind, right? But these people work. The guy works at fucking Disney. I mean,
Oh, wow.
and it's the same for development. Like how fucking much time I went to like event with developer, and I asked them, what do you do, and I asked to explain what they do, and they don't know what they fucking do. It's insane. It's like, what do you do? Oh yeah, I'm creating an app for, I don't know, like tracking like investments for rich people. Okay, cool. How does it work? What frameworks do you use? Oh, and of course, like frameworks they always use like fucking piece of shit. Like, oh yeah, it's Angular, React, whatever. And I said, oh cool. And I said, oh, so how do you make like, how do you organize like your database? How do you make your API call? Do you have a cache system in JavaScript? And I said, oh no, I don't know how to use. I don't know how to write vanilla JavaScript. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? Yeah, just use React. React is not a fucking language. What the fuck are you talking? And I'm like, okay, he doesn't know how to code, actually. He just know how to use a little frameworks. He doesn't understand how even a request works. And even less, like if you ask him, so do you know how works like the event loop in the browser? How when the CSS is passed, how the request is done like asynchronously. No, of course they understand nothing, and I'm like, these people work, and it's been like 20 years, and this didn't change, and so I'm like, yeah, I mean, see if these people works, why people that do generated code by AI without understanding wouldn't work, right? I have a guy, you know it too. He actually do React code, and he said to me like I would say like 6 to 8 months ago, I asked him how the work was going, and he said, "Oh, it's simple. I don't code anymore." And he's like a senior React developer, right? And I asked him, like, "What do you mean you don't code?" He said, "Oh yeah, I'm just like using like code agent, and they code, and I just read the code, and that's it." And I'm like there is no, there is like what you do is extremely simple, or there is no way this works without you modifying the code, especially like in a large project, because I can assure you, I did test this, and like third generation, the code was garbage to a point like it makes no sense. Because the context was more than 500,000 lines, and you can't. It's not like just a small program that make 1,000 lines. So it's not like the code made no sense. Like it makes sense when you read it, but it used function that doesn't exist. The behavior was changed a little bit, and so a pointer was shifting around, and so you have like a segfault. But yeah, and he said, no, I do this every day. I don't code anymore. And I'm like, okay, so basically what you do, you just request an API that give you a database, and you put it in a fucking list on a browser. That's the only thing you do. I don't see how you can do anything more complex, and the AI could like help you, because the AI can do complex stuff, but it can do it in one time. If you want to prompt and iterate on complex stuff without modifying and without understanding what it's written, I don't see how it can work. But actually, this is the hard, maybe the hard stuff to understand is like most of the front-end developer today, they just do this. They just API request a fucking list, and they put it in the browser. And yeah, actually, this AI can do it can do it for you, right? So yeah, I'm a bit confused. Like, what I think is like one of my friends said this to me. He's a senior developer, and he's pretty damn good. And he said to me, what's hard today is like we don't want to recruit new people, like new beginners people today, because AI can do their job. It's like you take an AI, it's pretty dumb, but you take a junior, it's pretty dumb too. And he said to me like, so I mean, like you have an app that does like 100,000 lines of code, that have like several modules, several services, that work with several servers. Like pretty much like any app that is on a big company is like gonna look like this. And he's saying, if you have a junior, you can't tell him like, oh yeah, design the architecture for the next feature. Like he doesn't know. You tell him like, okay, this is the architecture. This is what we're gonna do. This is where you're gonna write your code. You're gonna use this library. You're gonna write the code this way, and you're gonna send to me like your advancement like every day, so I can check you're not like doing what the fuck you're doing, right? Well, if you think about it, it's exactly how you prompt an AI to have something that is not too bad, right? And he said to me like, well, if I need like junior work, like so easy work, I'm just asking AI to do it. So why I'm gonna recruit someone? And if I need senior work, yeah, I recruit someone, but it's not beginner, because AI can't do well architecture and doesn't understand the context of the global context of the AI well. And people say, yeah, but the context window can change. But yeah, it's not that easy, because the context window is not only the app, it's like how the app is going to be used, on what environment it is installed, what the user is doing, what the stats are telling us, how the user behavior can change, how you're going to code it and how you're going to speed it up. And the thing is like, you can have the context window you want. Like this is stuff you don't know at the beginning. You need to figure out on the fly. It's like, it's not like it's known information. It's not like, even for human, you need to like have hypotheses and test it out. And good luck to put like your fucking 1,000 hypotheses on a context window for an app that's making 100,000 lines of code, and it's used by 1 million people at the same time. For example, my friend is this, like it's the chatbot in Leroy Merlin website on France, UK, Germany, and Spain. So it's fucking huge, right? And in managing like all the AI system backend that takes the product and respond, and he managed that the AI doesn't respond like fucking shit, like, oh yeah, you can have this for this price, and it's false, right? So it's pretty important, right? And he has like pretty hard constraint, right? And he said to me, yeah, like there is no way I vibe code this kind of shit. It just doesn't work. Like it's and there was like if it vibe code something wrong, it's like they had the problem. A guy like didn't give a shit and he just said, oh yeah, we can just let the AI respond to the user, right? What happened is like the AI like give a price to the user that was wrong, right? Like was extremely low, and the user send this to the customer service. Say, okay, I would like to buy this, and the customer service said, well, no, it's not the price. The user sued Leroy Merlin for false information and fucking win.
Oh my.
Yeah, because on the law stand of view, it's like, yeah, information of the website are considered like true. So what it's responded by the chatbot need to be true. And this is actually why my friend was like recruited to fix this fucking mess. And so he said to me, like, you can't vibe code this. And if you don't understand how your fucking architecture works, it doesn't work. And you can't put an architecture for 5 countries that run on 10 different servers in a fucking context windows. It just doesn't work. It's impossible. He said to me, like, only for the AI chatbot, they have like maybe 10 to 15 service. Like, so service, like different programs that speak to each other to get one response. Because you have like the authentication system, the products like reference system. That is obviously not the same per country. Per fucking like shop, right? So imagine the fucking complexity of it. And it's this, and after you have to take the price, you have to check the legal right. And he said to me like the RGPD, it's a fucking mess to manage, like, because you don't control what people send you, and if they send you something that is personal, you can't use it, you can't see it, but you don't know what they're gonna send you, right? It's insanely hard. Like, good luck to vibe code this kind of shit today, right? And but what's important to say, so today we have a situation that's weird, like we don't recruit junior anymore. We just recruit like senior, so people with like 5 to 10 experience and more. And he said to me like, so if you're a junior today, you basically have no job, right? You just wait, because if the company is a bit like smart, they're gonna do the junior work with an AI.
Exactly. Yeah.
And they're gonna like get senior people to do the architecture and the AI and what AI can't do. So the junior can't have skills to become senior, right? So they stay on the touch, and you say, but we can't do this like forever because senior are gonna retire, right? And we won't have anyone, right? And he said to me, what's weird is like we could like take senior and like teach them, right, and keep them, but the problem is like the average duration of people in the company is 1 to 2 years. So you actually like teach them and they go away. So for the company, it doesn't make sense either. So you have a situation where you won't recruit junior because they are not useful, and you can't train them, because if you train them, they just go away because they're gonna be paid. Because in development, it's actually the same in 3D. It's like a good way to increase your salary just to change company. And each time you change company, you renegotiate. And so people change company pretty often, like 1 or 2 years. And so if you want to train someone and he just leave, wait, why did you train it, right? No, it makes actually no sense. And he said to me, and I think he's right, and I see the same stuff in the 3D, is like, I'm really interested at what's gonna happen in like 2 to 3 years, when even like in 5 years, where senior developers are gonna start to retire, and we won't have any junior developer anymore because they won't be skilled enough to do the senior job. And there is change, like even worse, like in 5, if you think about it, like 3 to 5 years, AI is gonna be better. So the senior job is gonna require even more skill, right? So the situation is gonna be like worse and worse, right? And in 3D, I see exactly the same thing. Like actually, it's actually even worse in 3D because you have like AIs that generate images and stuff. And so people are like, oh yeah, I don't see why I'm going to learn 3D because AI is going to take my job anyway. So you have like something so weird that in the industry as of today, like 3D artists are basically used all the time, right? We didn't see as what happened in like Microsoft or Amazon, this massive layoff because of AI in development world. In the 3D industry, we didn't see this. We did saw layoff, but it wasn't because of AI. It was because of the strike of the actors in 223, whatever. And so you have a way like, okay, we still need people to work on movies because people are still watching movie, and AI movie doesn't fucking work. It's just like, for now, it's just like, it's not bad, but like I say, it's just so average that nobody wants to see it because it's not really a movie because there is nothing to see. It's just like what I saw every day. Like, it's a fucking short on TikTok that works for an 11 kid. And so you still need like 3 artists or whatever, but no one wants to do this anymore. And I know this because I own a 3D school, right? And I did like teaching 3D school too. And in 3 years, in the school I was teaching, that was like one of the biggest school in France. Like, they started for class, people were 40 in them, 40 per class. At the end, there were 4. So in 3 years, they lose like 100% of the students, 90% of the students. And I actually see this tendency too in my school. And it's not like we don't need these people anymore. We still need them, but it's like the view and the hype of AI is so strong that people don't see what the point of doing this, right?
Yep.
And what I see is like, before, when I went to 3 events, and I'm gonna try to do this year to see it's still true and if it's worth or not. But when I went to 3D events, like at the beginning of my career, like most of the people I saw over there were students. All right. Now, when I go to 3D events, most of the people are in the industry for more than 5 years, and I have like basically no students.
Wow.
And what I feel is like, I'm really curious for what is gonna happen in like 5 years when we need more people, but nobody is on the market. Like, if you are one of these people, you're gonna be fucking valuable.
Yeah.
And this is why, like, I would say to go like against the AI hype and being like smart, right? You can use AI in your work. I'm not like be against AI, but being like against the AI hype in meaning like, yes, everybody say AI is gonna take your job, and you do the job that the AI should take at a level that is like expertise. You're gonna have like for me, I think in like 2 to 3 years, you're gonna have massive value. I think like you take like if you are a developer that could code like low level stuff in 2 to 3 years, you're gonna be fucking valuable. If you are a 3D artist that can like use AI in a workflow and still like do the 3D like hard stuff like simulations and nodal composition like Houdini and whatever, you're gonna be fucking valuable because nobody's gonna do this anymore. And this is what I see. This is what I would say. This is what I expect to happen in like the next 2 to 3 years. And well, and it's weird because I would say like naturally, I would say like I would have think that the level, the skills of people would have decreased with the time because of AI, right? But I'm gonna be a bit harsh to again. It's like, I'm sorry, but when I was like at the beginning of my career, like AI didn't exist, right? And most of the people were pretty dumb too. Like AI didn't change this, right?
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry, but even if you look at the market like 10 years ago, like most of the people I saw working in my industry was just like unskilled. Like they know how to do one thing that you can learn in like 2 fucking weeks, and that's it. And you understand, like these people did like 5 years school, right? So they do a 5-year school, and at the end they do a work that you can learn in 2 weeks. Like, so it's the worst, but I can give you an example. Like, you have something called rotoscoping. That is basically the work to remove a character from a background of a video. It's something you need to do like pretty much like every fucking day. And you can learn how to do this like in 1 week. It's fucking easy, all right? You don't need 5 years school to do this, right? And I know some people that they did 5 years school, not the majority, but it gives you the extreme, right? 5 years school, and they end up like do rotoscoping like full of day, and they don't want to learn anything else. And I'm like, what the fuck? And I'm like, come on, like this is not AI. Like the guy is just fucking dumb. He doesn't know. And it's not like And you can see, yeah, maybe he doesn't have the opportunities. Like, no. You ask him, you speak to him, say, oh yeah, I'm happy with this. I don't want to go over there, just do rotoscoping. And this is actually the kind of guy that hate AI. Because, for example, rotoscoping AI is becoming quite good at it, because I won't say it's a simple problem to solve, it's actually a quite hard problem to solve, but it's something that if it's solved, it's gonna be like massively used by AI, because it's basically like extremely boring to do and easy to do and repetitive. So it's something a company wants to automate like pretty fast, right? And so when AI is gonna do that better and better, and it's starting to be like better and better to do this, even if it's not perfect. It's like I would say like maybe 80% there. Well, these people like hate AI. You speak to them and say, yeah, AI work steals the artist's work, and blah, blah. No, the real reason is like you know that you're unskilled, you know it, and this is the first time in your life that you see a real threat to your fucking piece of shit jobs. Actually, this is the reason. And I'm sorry, it's like you made the choice. You made the choice to be unskilled because in your 5-year studies, even if most of the schools sadly are fucking catastrophic, but you had the choice to learn other stuff. You had the stuff that maybe more than I can maybe learn like composition, color theory, whatever. You could have, but no, you just say, oh yeah, I'm gonna do this. It's easy. I don't need to rework a lot. It's okay. And I see this, and I saw this like every day when I was in study and now. And AI for me didn't change that. Like people were done before. Did AI make this worse? I don't know actually. I would say maybe that AI would like make this kind of people out of work, and before they could work. And so maybe this is the difference that we're gonna see, right? But
that's interesting. Yeah.
to be honest, like if I really like think about it like hard, it's like things didn't change that much. Like
I agree.
the reality that 20% of a company like produce like 80% of the result is still true, right? AI or not, right? So yeah, I don't know, but for me, I would say like the AI definitely changed the hype of the AI definitely changed how people think about this kind of shit. Because I would say like today, you take even a developer, right? And a junior developer, someone that's in school, and he could like easily say, oh, maybe I'm gonna stop study because AI is gonna take my job.
Yeah.
And so maybe what's gonna happen is like you're gonna have a massive hole on the market. Like you're gonna have less developer on the market because of this. Like because of the hype produced by AI, gonna like just demotivate like people that want to start this work, right? And what I think is that it's gonna happen like 2 to 3 years from now, because right now you teach a developer or even like an engineer or whatever, you take like 3 to 5 years, right?
Yeah.
So the AI hype is now, or like it started like maybe last year.
Yeah.
But I would say the consequences of this is gonna be visible in like 3 to 5 years, right? We don't see it yet that much. And I'm pretty like I'm really interested in like what's gonna happen when you have like a demand of really skilled people, but nobody is on the market anymore. And again, like 3 to 5 years, it's quite okay because senior developer can still work, right? But just take 10 to 15 years, and I'm really like, I would say curious of what does this mean? What's gonna happen, right? Because yeah, it's a weird concept and I think it's a good point, it's a good place to be like in 5 years. Like I think being like someone that understands like the underlying system and can like, I would say, use AI in a way that is not like just copy paste like a fucking dumbass, but like I said, like generate the small independent module you need all the time, and you can modify it yourself because you understand it. If you are this kind of person, like in 1 to 2 years, if I had to bet on it, I would say it's quite of a good bet, because people are gonna. So if you like push it to the as far as possible, you're gonna have more and more AI like generated code in companies, right? So meaning like it's gonna be a code that less and less people has read and understand, right? And so statistically, if you do that, you're gonna have more and more like bugs that are less understood because people didn't read the code right. And so these kind of people are gonna be like extremely valuable if you can like fix the system like fast, because you can understand that code that nobody understands because it's just AI generated, right? But I think it's good. What's weird is like before you like, and I think for 3 artists it's the same. Like you recruit someone to do the work. Like you have a website to do. You want to sell some product. You recruit a developer to make the website for you, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think what's gonna happen is now people are gonna say, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna do the website with AI." So they do the website with AI,
Yeah.
and they are fucking like, "Oh my god, this is so cool! It works! It's all fucking insane!" And like first week for them is like fucking heaven, right? And they do this, and it works, and the first customer paid, and they have an error when they pay, like whatever, like I don't know, like AI didn't implement the 3D checker, and so the Mastercard like just failed the request, and so they can't pay. And so they go in the logs, if they can even find the fucking logs, because once again they generated the code, and they see like the error that and trust me, like check on mistake is like 50 to 100 lines with like 10 requests, because it's really complicated because of the security, and they are okay, I don't understand anything, I have no idea how to fix this. So what they do, they copy paste the error code, they put it in ChatGPT and say, okay, fix it. And they do this, and ChatGPT like vomit some code and say, okay, fixed. They copy paste the code, and now the website don't even load a page.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh my god. And I think it's gonna be two things. Like first, they're gonna just like give up, right? They're gonna just okay, like I don't know, like e-commerce or whatever is not for me. But second, people are gonna do like, oh, so now I need someone that understands this kind of shit and can correct this. And I think this is why how the developer is gonna recruit like later. And I think it starts becoming true even today. Is like they're gonna fix AI slop, because the problem I described, like the checkout problem, like if you're a developer, it's pretty easy to do. It's not a fucking mess. It's not like easy to do like in one day, but you just put your head on it like 5 days, it's done. And the thing is like you could have like something like people start stuff with AI to have MVPs to test stuff, and when it breaks, because it's gonna break, because if more feature you want to add, you will be, and if you want to be unique, you will need to have feature. A developer is gonna need it, and I think here a developer is gonna be really valuable, and I think it's gonna be less and less developer to ask for. And from like basic economics, like what's rare is expensive and valuable. So yeah, I would say if you are someone that understands and that really can, I would say, like encapsulate the different low level system on how stuff works. So it works for code, it works for 3D, for everywhere. You're gonna be really valuable when AI is gonna break, because it's gonna break. And I think it works with everything. Like let's take accountant. Like my accountant did say this to me. He did say this to me. He said to me, yeah, now with AI, we could replace like 80% of the team, because they just do like basic stuff like not even balance sheet. Like it's just like they do the basic stuff by default, right? So this AI can do, but AI can't explain you an advice specific to a certain law that passed like 2 months ago in your country for your accounting, right? And you say like, so an accountant that understands the underlying system, how the law works, is still gonna be extremely valuable tomorrow, right? But the accountant that just do the balance sheet without thinking about it, yeah, no. I mean, come on. And this works for lawyers. This works for like a bad lawyer today is worse than ChatGPT. But a good lawyer, it's insanely valuable, because it's gonna give you insights that ChatGPT would never be able to do it, because a good lawyer know like the law, like how it evolves like every fucking weeks. He has the the skill and the experience to know how the system reacts in practice instead of how the law is written, which is fucking different, by the way. And an AI can't do this. The AI can always give you the law and explain you, but it can't give you like how the law is enforced in your country. It can give you some theoretical like ideas, but it's not like if you have sometimes someone that have 10 years of experience, like, and 100 of clients that say like, okay, how the law was in front of this kind of example, you can say, oh, okay, so for me, the reason is going to be like this. And often it's like way, way different than how the law is written. For example, so the same thing for a lawyer. And I think it's worked for basically like every information-based like work. And 3D for me, it's information-based. Animation for me, it's an information. So yeah. I don't know. What do you think about this? Like, do you think like because you did before the podcast explain me that you have like some studios that doesn't use AI at all, and they does seem weirdly to be like the best of all.
Actually, I did the test myself last year, so it's 6 months from now. In November, October, November of 2025, we started an event. So it's a running event. There is about 100 participants that are split into teams of 5, and the idea is to run as much as you can within your team during the full months, and the team that clocked the most kilometers will win. So everyone is tracking their runs with using Strava, and the idea was to do a small web application that link Strava with the Strava API, and do a nice web page where you can see which team is leading, how many kilometers each and every one has run. So something that is like it's actually easy. It's really easy, right? It's like it's basic web front end
Yeah.
web, and the data are so small that you could almost do it using strictly the call API every time you need an activity and reload everything, and it was almost enough.
Okay.
I said that because that's what I did. So I thought, you know what, that would be the vibe coding test. So I'm not gonna I'm okay, because, and that's funny how like also I think you mentioned it earlier. You said nothing really changed compared to yesterday, because there are most of people, they sit there, they do their task that is being told by someone else, right? They like to hear you're going to do this. They hate to hear you're gonna have to come up with a plan to solve that problem, right? And I saw that as an opportunity, like, holy shit, like, let's actually make an app, and so everyone can access and see real time what's the leaderboard and all. But I was the only one excited by this idea. Yet, so I start to do it, and I say, okay, before vibe coding it, let me just see how the API of Strava works, so I can pull the data and draw something. So I did do a prototype with zero AI. I didn't even use the web framework. The Strava API lets you use the curl command to use the API, so you can curl you can curl and using post, I think.
Mhm.
So you can basically fetch the data from Strava, and it will print it in your terminal in a JSON, I think, say JSON format. So I said, okay, now that I have this simple ID, let's start the vibe coding. So I asked the AI to make this using the Node server. So use the back. There's a JavaScript. There's a JavaScript frame. I mean, you see, that's where you can tell I've coded too much, because I barely know how it works. So you pull the data from using Node.js. And
so you put the data on the server, not on your client.
Yeah. So
Okay.
like you no because at the beginning in a web app, there was only and then that also how that's the thing, like as I was not knowledgeable using that with backend, right? I don't know how backend works at that time, so I prompt the AI being that guy of not knowing backend, and I would even think that I will not even need backend. So what I have is a handmade sheet table with the name of the participant and their team, and I basically tell the AI, okay, you're gonna fetch the data from Strava, and you're gonna update each and every one distance kilometers, and you're gonna display on the web app. And every time you fetch, you're gonna update this data, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so after a lot of prompt, because it at first like it would work, and I thought, okay, that's it, right? We could load the page and we could have the participants kilometers. So I thought, okay, that's damn easy. I'm done. It's like I spent like half a day doing this and it works great. But then the next day I receive a message like, hey Remy, I run yesterday night and it's not appearing, and that's where the problem started. So from that message, I spend the whole like I think 3 to 4 hours a day for the 2 3 next weeks, actually, until the end of the app, fixing the vibe coding stuff. Like,
And
so
did you fix
fixing
it
the
by
code
hand
that
or did you fix it with
no,
AI too?
I didn't use N at all.
Okay.
That,
You would
the
think of it?
only yeah on like so the only thing that I did myself was so like for the style, for example, I will modify the color myself, but then everything else was vibe coded, and it was a fucking mess. And like so the AI keep patching, right? It keeps patching, and the AI, like that's what I was impressed, right? You kind of like expect maybe the AI to tell you at some point, like, bro, like you actually need a database. it, 2 weeks passed with no database. So literally no database. We reached the limit of like 100 activities that you can fetch at a time. So that
Okay,
means
so
like,
you were fetching like all in parallel, like
yeah,
okay.
and like this, like the AI come up with this plan, and like the code was doing this. So that means like every time we'll fetch the activities when you update
Mm.
the distance of everyone. So at the 101st activity, then everything break because the first activity is not in the system anymore. And then so as someone that doesn't know what's going on, I just I have the output, and I learn days after that wait
Mm.
my because to test it, I clocked the first activity, and then I do so I will like ask the AI to update and make the so fetch the activities. So at some point we have a button to do this, but it will do it. And then I said, but no, this is incorrect. Like these people, they haven't their distance is not there. And because I prompt the AI the incorrect way. I said, oh, I check in the date. It's because of the starting date. The date started in last month, and I suppose that it was month by month. So the AI started to modify the whole logic of the month filtering, the date filtering, and it was absolutely not that. So it added some code. It filtered out something that it will not pull the data from someone else. So it fixed some a problem that wasn't there. And then um I went out and I said, okay, fuck, let me go through the file that the AI write. And then I see this global variable called like fetched activities 100. And then I say, what is this like hard coded 100? And then I actually look at the AP, the documentation of Strava, and I read myself that you cannot fetch more than 100 activities. So I said, holy shit, that's where come the problem.
So
So yeah,
I
so
didn't-
the AI didn't find it.
yeah, AI kept modifying until I tell him, yeah, he didn't find it. Until I tell him, like, oh, actually, this is the problem. So then he told me, oh, so he still tried to iterate on that, but he still doesn't tell me you need a database.
Mm.
That's funny. So I kind of like understood at this point, like, oh, I need a database, but I don't know how to use any database service so far. So I'm just gonna I think a bit and say, okay, actually my database, I have it there. It's my Excel sheet, so it's my CSV file. So I'm gonna pull the data, put it in a sheet, and then this is gonna be my database. And then every time we're gonna update this sheet, and then we're gonna display the last sheet that we have, right? The sheet that is completed with the fetch sheet data. So I did this, and again, prompts after prompts, it was so painful to make it work, right? That seems pretty easy, but it was painful to make it work because also the starting architecture was so bad. It was I thought in my head, I thought, okay, I'm just gonna use the Strava API to pull some data from the website to here. So I didn't have a database that made any sense. It was just like a Excel sheet per week. So then I end up having four sheets, because then to limit this, to have this limit, I thought, and then first time the 100 limits, I'm gonna have a week limit. So I thought it's not gonna be more than 100 activities a week, which actually broke afterwards, but because I didn't think like, oh, I could just have a permanent file to store the data and then I can update it, you know. So I split it in some weird ways that didn't make any sense. So the AI was I was myself in a pain, but the AI was also like, he was trying to do stuff, but he didn't have enough. The context I gave him was messy, and he was trying to do stuff, but because the architecture was bad, it like roughly works, and it was working a day, and then I will receive a text that someone told me, oh, my activity is not there, and I had to go through again. And yeah, so basically it ended up having he ended up like being me until the last day, prompting the AI to make it work so we can have the actual distance of the people being updated correctly. Until the last day it happened like that. And then after this, I thought, fuck, man, like, so it was super good experience for me, because I know that, okay, if tomorrow this was to happen again, I need to come up with an architecture. Like, it's not a one-day event, right? It's not I want to showcase something. It's not a prototype. It's something that's gonna need to be updated every day. And it's 150 participants. So you have some edge case with the name and the date being close to the deadline, whatever. So you have this edge case, and like, if you do something general, it's just not gonna work. Like, and I did this out because the thing is, it's so easy, right? It's just when you hear about this app, it's like easy. Yeah, we're just gonna track the distance of the participant, and that's it. But yet, I ended up fighting with the AI for 1 month.
Okay, and so question, like, would you, if tomorrow I ask you to do the same app, now that you know where it's gonna break, would you use AI to go faster, or would you do it by hand?
Well, I can tell you that I won't. I mean, I'm actually doing the app right now.
Okay.
So I don't use AI.
You don't use AI.
Yeah, I don't use AI. I am being I'm being tutored by a mentor React, a React mentor. That sounds weird, but a JavaScript mentor. So I am doing it the good way, but the good way it's the standard way, right? It's not the way I would have do it, but I'm doing the way that this kind of app should are being made nowadays, right? So it is using JavaScript mainly, but yeah, no use of AI for most of the case. But at least the thing is like I will still use the AI to, like, for example, to style something, right? I will describe the styles for an input or something like that, and then I will use AI. But for the high scale, for the high view of the AI, for the structure and all, like I decided like no, there is no point like to use AI, because I found out that it was a bad experience, right? It gave me bad output, and I should take the time to think it myself, like how, and like so that's why I use an actual person to do it, because the person I use has been working with some large scale app that do multiple calls of different API and have more than can sometimes have thousands of people. So and that helped me a lot, because even though after that I was still viewing things in a tiny scale, right? I thought, okay, I'm going to do this app again, but I didn't think like, oh, this can scale to be a multi-country things and cross the world and this thing. So like, what does that imply, right? And things can go wrong there, and maybe we can have some user that has not supposed to be in that team. Like, so he helped me see the kind of like edge case and how to scale it properly, so you don't fight over details with the AI and you will break everything.
Okay, I like it. It's a good example, yeah. And so I would like to go maybe a bit further in the future and maybe end on this, like, so because now we speak about AI only in the sense like generated stuff for data like text or images, right? But if we, for example, I do like check a bit like what's going on in robotics, and particularly like Tesla bots and similar. And if we take a leap in the future, like 20 to 30 years, and if you imagine you have like a robot that can build a house or can build like a bridge or roads or even like central power or sun, I don't know how you call this, but the stuff that captures the sunlight to make electricity, solar panel. If you have robotics that can do this, that you could replace also the main part of the labor in 30 years, you're gonna have something weird, right? And I don't invent this. I'm taking this idea from Elon Musk. He said like you're gonna have like robots that produce robots. And it makes like, if you do that, if you have like robots that produce robots, all the chain, right? So it means that you have robot that get the metal, robot that change it, robot that put it in the factory, and you have new robots, right? If you have this kind of stuff, it makes like the production of energy and matter and everything we need is gonna be extremely cheap. And it makes sense, right? Because today, what makes the price of something is like how it's what human labor is needed to produce it. This is why you can have like food for practically nothing today, is because food, a lot of stuff are automatized for created food, except it's the fact to get the food in the dirt. But even there, like you see how farm work in the US, like it's fucking automatized. Like you can have one person doing like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds like parcels of food. So it's way more automatized than like 100 years ago. So if you do this, and instead of one person, you have robots that do this. So you don't need people to manage the food anymore, and you can do this for anything, right? You're gonna have like the price for the commodities that gonna drop like to the point of basically near zero, right? And you can ask yourself, right, like, does the concept of value, does it even make sense in a society where most of the stuff you need are gonna be basically next to free. But the other thing is like you can take this and you can turn it the other way around. It's like if every job or most of the jobs are replaced, how people are gonna create value, and how do you have a system how do you distribute the commodities that are created, right? Because you can if like create commodities is basically cheap to the point of being nearly free, you don't really have to work to have them, because it's like I like this example because when I try to imagine this, it makes no sense because we compare it on the scale of how it works today, where most people works and create values on whatever like field. But I had an example that basically really like rewire how I think about this. It's the example of fiber. So I don't know if you remember, but when we were a kid, we had internet connection that was basically like the worst. Like we have like 200k per second. It was a fucking mess. We couldn't download anything. It was a mess, right? And it was like a major problem in our life. And if you look at today, like the speed of internet connection has been basically solved. Like no problem, right? But what you see is like even if it has been solved, like you have faster and faster connection, right? I can give you the example. I live in Taiwan today, and they asked me what speed of connection I want for where I live, right? And they proposed me like you can choose between like 40 megabytes per second until like 2 gigabytes. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Like 40 megabytes is more than enough, like for whatever you're gonna use. But you still have the offer to go until like 2 gigabytes. And I was like, what the fuck? Why? And I think it's exactly the same example for the food tomorrow and the basic commodities. Like you're gonna have a force that can produce so much that it can give you like 100 times what's needed for human race. Like exactly like the basic like of internet connection. And by the way, the internet connection, the funny thing is like often like your Wi-Fi card can't even handle like 40 megabytes. So it's like it's basically useless. And so what happens is like, for example, today, like internet connection, which is basically like when you think about the tech, it's fucking insane to have like a telecommunication system in a country. And for me today in Taiwan, it costs me like 10 euros a month to have a fiber speed that is basically extremely fast. That not even like 15 years ago was a fucking mess, and it cost like maybe 50 to 60 euros a month. And it's only 10 years, right? If you imagine this for the food, the middle and stuff, and you scale it for the robotic point of view, where you're gonna have like system that what commodities are gonna cost less and less, not because it's free, but because the amount you can produce is so much more than the amount needed, like 100,000 times more. You can have so basically like the rule of like scarcity just disappear. What's valuable in the world like this? Because what's valuable, and we did like touch it when we spoke about AI, like it's what's scarce. And if you have most of what people need not scarce, so like commodities, materials to build house and stuff, so it needs to eat, materials to have computer, games, whatever, everything that people does, right? You need to go to a shop to have coffee. Yeah, what's gonna be scarce in a world where everything is material, it's cheap? And I think it's pretty easy you have two stuff that come like right on the front of this. It's like place, like location, because even if it's cheap, you still need to move. You want to go to a coffee shop, you're gonna pay higher price to go in a coffee shop next to you than a coffee shop that is 1 hour road. So the place or where you live is gonna be still higher. It's gonna be still valuable. So, and I think it's gonna be more and more valuable. Well, it depends actually if the population decrease or increase in the future, and it's not an easy question to answer, because from what we see, for now the most likely future is to have the population that's gonna decrease and not increase. For example, we have the problem in Taiwan here. It's already decreasing like fucking. Taiwan is the most decreasing population in the world.
Yeah.
They have more people with pets than with babies. Another example that we see, as we also see today, that is fucking insane when you come from France, like me, but for Taiwanese it's pretty normal. It's like I saw a lot of people with like stuff to push babies, right? I don't know the name of this, but in France it's poussette. Do you know the name in English?
Carry on, baby.
Carry on, baby. Yeah. And you see this, and when you check inside, it's not a baby, it's a dog. and so a lot of people just walk their dog in a carry-on baby.
Oh my.
And what's even weirder is like I see more this than real babies.
Oh wow.
And so if you have a population that is decreasing, actually the location and the place is gonna be less valuable too, because you have less people to put in houses. So it's not even clear this. But what's gonna be valuable, I think, is like the human connections. Because I think what AI struggle to give today, and it's gonna struggle to give like in the next 50 years, is real human connection. Because you can say whatever you want, but try to only speak with ChatGPT for fucking months, and you're gonna be miserable. Like, it's not the same. First of all, it's not the same because you know it's AI. So even if it's like extremely good to replicate human behavior, because you know it's AI, it's not gonna work. You just know it. If you have like a chatbot and you think you speak to a real person, and actually it's an AI, but you don't know, maybe it could a bit work. But the other stuff is like, it's still a chatbot. Like, chatbot is not real human connection. Like, you just have the information part. You just have the data part. You don't have like the feeling part when you are with someone in real life. You don't even have because you can say, yeah, but you can have video call and stuff. Yeah, come on, video call is not the same. Like, try to build a romantic relationship with someone by video call. Good fucking luck. It's a fucking it's rubbish. It's dumb as fuck, right? And I think everybody that had a relationship with someone in a world, like in real life, understands like the massive difference you have, like when you see someone at the same place in the same environment versus like in a video call, on a phone call, or even via a chatbot, right? And so if you do this, like in a world like this, like what's gonna be valuable is like how easy is it to meet people? Like so for example, I think if I like pushing this forward, I really think like if you know how to connect people in real life, so if for example you know how to organize events, how to rent locations, how to make planning to have people that have fun, how to make parties, like real parties, I think this kind of stuff are gonna be like extremely valuable in the future. Because I think it's gonna be what people crave the most. Because when you have everything you need at the material point, and the only thing that is scarce is other people, because other people can't scale as the rest, people are gonna crave for this. And especially in a world where nobody works anymore. And I think it's gonna be weird because you're still gonna have a scarcity. You're gonna have a scarcity of people. You're gonna have a scarcity of which people can see who. And I think it's like, so people say, yeah, you don't have money, and you're gonna have money. It's just like people are gonna have maybe like, I don't know, you're gonna have, if you don't work, you're gonna have like maybe 100 euros, and with 100 euros you can have way more than enough stuff to buy to live. But maybe with 100 euros you can only be able to go to one event a month. And the scarcity is gonna be the human connection and not the stuff you need to survive. And so, and how you can keep money and value in a world like this, well, it's easy. You just do what people are willing to pay for, and what you do is you organize events. You get human connection. I also think that, for example, I saw some business in Japan that you can rent a friend. Like you pay for someone for a day, and the guy is your friend for a day, right? And people seems to think it's like it's dumb and it's like the worst of the human race. I'm not agree with this. Like, I think it's gonna be like a big part of tomorrow's society. Like, if the scarcity is human connection, like renting a friend make total sense. Like, it makes total sense, and I don't see why it's gonna be like morally bad. Like, it's gonna make total sense, and I don't know why it's not gonna be something. And also, I think like other things that's gonna be like really really good is like prostitution. Prostitution, bro, it's gonna be off the roof in the world like this, because you can have like robots and stuff. And I'm not speaking about sex, because sex is pretty easy to emulate today. You already have porn, and tomorrow you put robots with vagina, and you basically have sex like for free or for really cheap. What I mean by prostitution is like intimate connection.
Yeah.
Like, if the human connection is scarce, like people are gonna be willing to pay for having intimate connection with someone, not sex but intimate connection.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and we do already see this today.
Yeah,
right?
it's already happening in.
It's already
US.
happening. Like, people are lonelier and lonelier,
Yeah.
and they struggle to just have basic like relationship, like just basic. They struggle to have friends. You see like the people that are in school today. So I can give you what's happening in Taiwan, right? And it's fucking like it's tearing me apart in a way, but it's also a good opportunity. It's like, I go to a coffee with my girlfriend, and I look around. Like, 80% of people don't speak to each other.
Mm.
They just each of them are on the phone and like checking, I don't know, Facebook or whatever.
And the 20%, the other 20%, the other 20%, they are sitting alone.
No, because even if they're sitting alone, they are on the phone.
True.
But yeah, actually, also like when I thought in Taiwan that I did, it's weird because when you're in Taiwan, it's like a jump in the future from Europe. For what I see, is like, for example, in Taiwan, you go in a restaurant, 50% of people are eating alone in the restaurant.
Yeah.
You go in France, you have basically have you don't have this yet, I would say. And so you can ask like, okay, so and what I see is like, when I go to events in Taiwan, first of all, you can say, oh, so it's hard to meet new people, right? You can think this. It's not. It's fucking easy. Like, it's I think it's never been easier to have some friends, because people are craving for connections. So today, like, if I want to meet some people in Taiwan, I just go and meet up, and I have an event tonight. It's easy as fuck, and I think it's never has been so easy. Like, I think it would have been way harder like 20, 30 years ago to find the event. You would have needed to have the background friends that make you meet other people, right? But when you arrive in a country and you don't know anyone, if you don't have a network like internet to find like where are the events, it's pretty hard actually to go in a world you don't know and make some friends. But with internet and with the event that's popping up, it's actually quite easy to meet new people, and people are craving for this. I see it like, it's everybody in events, like, people want to meet new people. Everybody's like, oh yeah, I want to meet people. Nobody uses their phone. Fucking weird. Like, nobody uses their phone for the event. And everybody is really like happy to be here and to speak to people. And what's feels like, you can see that some of them is like, I think it's the only time in the week they speak to people. You can see it, how they crave it already now. And I think it's gonna be like, I don't know if worth is a good word, but it's gonna be more and more in this direction. And I would say in this kind of industry, I would say that one of the most valuable skill you can develop is like how to make friends. Like, basically, like how to produce like pleasant human interaction, because it's gonna be all you need in I think in a world like from like 20 to 30 years from now. And what's cool is like how to have pleasant human interaction today is actually a skill that is already valuable. So it's not like you need to like invest in yourself for something that's gonna pay off in 10 years, right? No, I actually think like it's pay off already of today. Like I think it's true that you said to me, like, basically like today, because of people suck so much technically and AI can do so many stuff, people just recruit the guys that they're friend with. And I think it's right. I think it's fucking right. And so I think it's like if you have good skill, like human skill in like even in a coding like interview, it does like plays a lot. It does plays a lot in your favor. I don't know what you think about it about this.
Yeah, that actually, I was listening to two person that I like particularly. So one is Andrew Tate, and so he's that's interesting because he exposed himself to a teenager that is so he's 21 years old, I think. So it's not that young in terms of like, for example, like I mean, I'm 20, I'm 27 right now, and the things that this teenager is telling in the podcast is like it's already is telling me how far I am from like the teenager reality right now. I you know like okay, I'm that old guy right already. I'm that old that old guy that thing the old way that I used to call the like, oh okay, boomer, you know. That's me, because I learned that the interaction, right, the way they interact with each other, like friends. So his teenager friends, the way he interact with is mostly online, right? And they have this online relationship that they now. I mean, it started with some like OnlyFans accounts and all, and actually it's I don't know what to heard, but I had the numbers. I was listening to the Raptor podcast, right? And he's giving us the numbers. It's 10% of the ladies being in between 16 and 30 and 16 to 24 years old. 20% of these ladies have an OnlyFans account.
20?
10%.
No way. It
10%
feels huge.
yeah.
It feels insane.
All this age range in the US. If you are, you have
no
one
fucking
chance,
way.
one chance out of 10. If you are in this range, to have an OnlyFans account.
So you go in a school,
Yeah.
like you go between like high school and college, and you one girl out of 10 in a school is in OnlyFans.
Yeah. That's what we are here today, man.
It's fucking crazy.
It is fucking crazy. And this guy, right, back to the teenager speaking to Andrew Tate, telling him like, so Andrew Tate is obviously telling his guy like how many women he has fucked, like, and it's like hundreds. And then the guy is like, oh shit, like I'm 21 and I'm still virgin, and actually all my friends are still virgin. I'm getting so nervous when the girls come to me and I cannot speak to her. And then he say, because my relationship that I have, he say in the podcast that actually I'm not sure if I'm virgin because I've been dating an e-girl and we kind of have some like distant relationship. Does that count? So it's like it's that much that is the reality, right? And I'm like, okay, so like that's already something like too far that I won't be able to understand, right?
Yeah. But I think like what's happening if you give this guy an event where you meet like real people?
Yeah,
like
exactly. That would represent so much value to him,
yeah.
Right?
This is what I think. Like if you have a guy that spends basically, how do you say, like his social life on the web, and the closest to a relationship he had is fucking OnlyFans and jerking off on his keyboard. Well, what's happening is you're putting him and 20 other like mates on the same room for like 2 days, and they basically do like college stuff, like do sports, drinks, whatever.
Yeah.
And you organize this event for them, right? And you can do like you remove their fucking phone for 2 days. What's gonna happen? Like, the thing that for them at the end of 2 days, like they're gonna say, "Oh fuck, it's insanely valuable.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Yeah.
I don't know that life could have been like this." And I think if you do this now, they're gonna crave this kind of event for life, right?
Long time, yeah.
And so yeah, so this is really interesting actually. About I didn't know that the guy could say like I had a relationship with an e-girl. Does that count?
Yeah, yeah, it's really funny. But and what on that part, like you say, the college life, I wanted to add something. Um, is whatever, I think I forgot, but yeah, it's oh yeah, yeah. Uh, then later on, the Raptor also discussed about um how the thing is. I mean, there is a part of like the society is kind of been pushed that way. Oh yeah, and the thing is like, does this person are they are nervous around a girl, right? So the thing is like, even though it will be so valuable, it is valuable for them to have a girl, but then you, depending of how the trend goes, right? What if the trend goes more into this e-girl kind of thing and OnlyFans, and
Well,
then
you say
but
this, but
it
on
still
the
makes
other
sense.
way,
Yeah.
like I don't see how, because it's not like what I'm thinking is like it's not like people are going in this trend like happy. They're not happy in it.
Yeah.
It's like they're not like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, I'm fucking an e-girl and I have the best life and my best life ever, right? Because if it was this, of course it's gonna change, right? Because I don't see why, like technically, we couldn't have a world like every human is alone and fucking an e-girl like every day and they don't speak to each other. Technically, this is possible. I don't know. I don't see why it couldn't be, right? But what I see is like people that going on this trend are fucking miserable. This is what I see. It's like I don't think, and to be like honest, like I'm a guy like I'm a pretty, I would say like I can like be alone a lot of time and I'm okay with this. But and I think I'm like one of the guy that is the most alone today that I know in my
Yeah.
like in my environment. Like I would say that they had weeks like in the last year, weeks like I didn't see anyone for weeks. And
Shit.
yeah, it's like just like you wake up and you go sleep and you didn't see anyone in your real life for a week. Maybe one time because you went to the grocery store and you say hi. So I'm a guy that's pretty far away, pretty far on the would say like the road, like to be alone and to be okay with it. And even me, like I would be fucking miserable if I didn't see anyone for a month.
Mm.
And
Yeah.
miserable to the point like I could kill myself.
Mm.
Like it's not like it's just a niche. No. It's like a fundamental need, as a like eating or drinking or sleeping.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
and what I see is like a lot of promises of this is like, oh yeah, you can have an AI girlfriend or whatever that's gonna replace this need because you can't succeed because you don't have the skill to create like a real life relationship. But what I see is like it doesn't work. Like it does kind of do the job at like 10%, and so people are like not miserable to kill themselves, but it's like you can eat like pasta with nothing else for the rest of your life. You can. You're not gonna die, but will your life be cool? I don't think so, right? And I think it's the same, right? And the thing is like right now, and I actually think like having a good relationship for your life is way more important as a health issue than just eating some pasta. I think you can like have a good life eating some pasta actually, but you can't, I think, have a good life speaking to anyone or just speaking to the grocery store people. And so it's not like the trend continues and people are happy to go in it. What I see is like the people are pulled to it not because they like it but because it's easy.
Yeah.
It's actually the same. Like I had like a thought about this, like, and I'm really like a bit pissed off about it because it does like put in jeopardy a lot of what I want to do per work. But if you check like how people like I would say entertain themselves today, they're fucking watching shorts. Like this is what most of people do, right?
Yep.
But when you ask them like, do you like it? They're gonna say, well, not really, but I'm pulled through it, right? It's like this, and actually, it's like I think it's the exact same feeling you have when you go to casino. When you go to casino, you pull the I don't know how you fucking
Lever.
call this, but you pull the stuff that make the roll reeling, right? And you don't know if you're gonna win. And this is what keeps you going. Like you don't know if you're gonna win, and so it's random, and you do it again and again, and you know that sometimes you win, so you know it's gonna happen again, but you don't know when. The short system is the same. Like you pull the wheel when you go through another video, but you don't know if the video is gonna be good, and you have like maybe one of video on 50 that is really extremely funny, and 49 other that are basically garbage. And when you see that now, and I'm gonna ask you, those people that live their life in casino are happy? No, I'm sorry, they are not. They are fucking miserable, and everybody are pity for them, right?
Yeah.
Well, I'm sorry, but short system is the same.
Yeah.
And I think it's why people it's why people they do this, but they're not happy at the same time, and they keep doing it. It's because it's the same feeling of the casino. It's like I think it's the hope that the next video is gonna be better. And I think this is the same too for the relationship, right? It's like, okay, in real life, it's hard to start a relationship and you don't know how it's going to be and you're not certain of the results. But if you go on OnlyFans or you just talk to an AI, right? Not even like for porn. Because actually a lot of people put porn and sex in the same like bucket of this. But I don't think it's true. I think it's like two things totally different. I think you can have sex with a robot and have good relationship, and I don't think it's that, I would say, like opposite, because I think it can be two different things. Well, it's not that easy to pull off, and you have to, I would say, like have quite some conversation with your girlfriend. I would say. So I don't think it's that easy, but I don't see why you couldn't see a sex bot as a dildo today, right?
Yeah.
I don't see why it should be different. So, but I would say why it's gonna because actually sex is not the hard part. This is why people don't get it. Sex is not the hard part. The hard part is to have an intimate relationship where it works well, when you trust the other one, when you can you can like tell stuff to her, or her she can tell stuff to you that are like personal and you are like vulnerable. So meaning like if you tell this kind of stuff, if she wants or if he wants, he can use them against you, but you still do it anyway. This is the hard part. This is not the sex part. And I would say actually today what I see in Taiwan, like the sex part is easy. You just go on an app and you can fuck a bunch of girls. Well, depending, like I would say you need to be like not fat and has a bit of money, but whatever. It's another problem for another day. But you do it like, if the hard part is to have the relationship, well, what you do, you go for certainty, you go for the casino, and you go for the AI stuff. You don't know exactly what the AI is gonna tell you, and maybe it's gonna be really cool, but you know it's not gonna be hurtful, and you know it's not gonna fail like in catastrophic way, like a real relationship. So it's easy, but you do really realize that it's not really like the real stuff. You know it's AI. You know it's like basically telling what you want to hear, like at 90% of the time.
Yeah.
And so it's like, yeah, you're 10% satisfied. And so I think like this is why like I don't see it as a trend like that gun like can explode, like people are gonna love it. I don't see it as this. I think more like something that people like pull to it because it's too easy, too comfortable.
Yeah.
And so for example, you see one of the conclusions I thought was a short, for example, is like, so in Taiwan I went to the theater like a couple of times, right? And first of all, people don't use their phone in the theater.
Yeah.
And what happens like when you go out of the theater, like for maybe 5 to 10 minutes after, which is insane in Taiwan, like people like speak to each other about the movie, and they genuinely seem happy, right? And after, of course, they take the phone and they go back to normal. And I'm like, fuck, like I was one of the first guy that saying during COVID, like theater are gonna die because I don't see the value of a theater when you have Netflix at home. And now I think the complete opposite. Actually, I think like theater and events that put some people in the same place gonna have tremendous values in the future because of this. And now it's just theater for new movie, right? But you imagine this like
Yeah, for
an event,
like
and you
this
just
event.
organize like 1 week, and people you watch like all the Star Wars movie, and you have a way of drinking and eating, and a room to speak about it, and you have another room next to it, like when you have like all the Star Wars video games, and everybody can play together, and you went to play to do this for 1 week. Trust me, Star Wars fans are gonna pay a fucking fortune for this. Why? Because they don't have the place anymore to do this. And it's weird because what you can see, like what's worked really well today, fucking convention, like comics convention, it's fucking insane. You have to book your place like 6 months in advance to go. Why? Because it's like it's the only time in the year that you have people that are passionate to the same thing, that are in the same place, speaking to each other in real life. And this is also the kind of people that spend all of the rest of their life online. And it's proof that even these people that are the farthest on the trend, online trend, they crave for this kind of event. And I think there is like, actually even today, I think there is like a massive demand of this. I think like tomorrow, someone that would be willing to organize the logistic for this kind of event on any kind of topics actually would like be, I think would be valuable. And actually I think this is something I would like love to try. Like what happened if I went to a movie theater, I put some bunch of people in it, and they choose the movie and we watch it together, and after we go to a restaurant and we talk about it. Like what happened? How people are gonna react, how those people are willing to pay for this. I'm really curious. I don't have I would say the answer, like the definitive answer to this, but it does feel something that, for example, I crave about. Like for me, as a guy that comes from the love of movies and entertainment at this scale, right? As of today, I would say something that I miss and that I lost over the year, like over the last 2 to 3, 4 years, is this. But it's not like lost, like it's just something. Yeah, it's just a hobby I lost. No, it's like I feel like I lost like maybe 20% of my life, because it's like before it was something like I met a friend and like 50% of our conversation would be about a movie, and this doesn't happen anymore. And you can say, yeah, it's dumb, it's just a movie, it doesn't have like real like I would say like consequences on the real life. I don't think it's true. Like if it was true, why do people still pay to go to the theater? Like it makes no sense. Like why Avatar 3 against make of 1 fucking billion at the box office, right? Because people want, and I don't think people just want to see movie. That's not it. I think people want to see movie and talk about it. And I think the best part is talk about it, not to see the movie. And I think it works with everything, just movies, like movie, video games, sport events, whatever, like an experience that you have been able to live together at the same pace, at the same time, in the same place. Because you can like, oh, did you see when it kills that guy? I was like, oh yeah, me too. You can only do this if you live the experience at the same place, right? If you did watch the movie together, not together, like a guy watched it on Netflix yesterday and you watch it tomorrow and you speak about it like the next day, it's not the same, because you didn't like live it through at the same pace. And so yeah, just to conclude on this, I think like the next, I would say, big thing, if I'm really like thinking of it like logically, it's how can you develop and construct and organize human connection, whatever the way. Is it through event? Is it because you know a lot of friends and you can just invite like 10 people to a bar? I think all of this is like equally valuable. And I think for today, like I said, like renting a friend is still like a stuff that make no sense. I think like actually in 20 years it's gonna be one of the most high paid jobs. And I don't see why. And actually, like people could say could find it's real, right? But for example, when I talk about this and I did like watch some video that people try it, right? I would be like willing to do it, like no problem, like
Okay.
to open a business, like okay, I'm right myself as a friend. Let's see how it goes, because first of all, as the people that do the business, it's also a good way to meet new people.
Yeah.
Also, like people are gonna think it's weird. It's not. Like it's not weird. Like, did you meet someone for the first time? Yeah. Was it weird? A little bit, but it's not the first time, right? Why would it be different? It's the same. Like, and from what I saw in the YouTube video at TS, most of them are in Japan actually. I would say Japan is maybe the country is most advanced on this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
It's like they just have a good day together, and that's it. And I'm like, I mean, why the fuck not? Like, why the fuck not? Like, and so, like, it's some kind of stuff. Like, I would love to try. Like,
Yeah.
as
Yeah,
a business,
yeah.
like, what's happening? Like, what's happening in I create a website. I put an announce of whatever. Maybe I do a little Facebook ad. Why not? Why the fuck not? And I have someone that called me and rent me as a friend for a day. What's going to happen, right? And I mean, like, and what's the even like funniest part is like you're gonna have okay, but I have someone that rent me, right? But I'm not gonna just go and see whatever. I need to know some place, because if he doesn't know what to do, I need to know. Okay, maybe we can go to a coffee or whatever. And like it's like what are you trying to organize, right? Oh man, it's a bit kind of a little event, right? You know some place how to go. If he doesn't know what to do, you know some kind of stuff you can do together. And it's like, well, I mean, what's an event? It's the same. It's just you don't organize it for one person, you organize it for a bunch of people. But it's exactly the same. And I actually think like the more customized the event is for one person, the more valuable it is, right? I would say the only hard thing today is like it's pretty, I would say, like especially in like Western culture, like I would say people would be like pretty judgmental about it. Like, oh yeah, you paid for a friend, what a fucking loser you are. But I think it's gonna change because the more people are gonna be lonely, the less they're gonna be judgmental about it. And it's like OnlyFans, right? Everybody's like, yeah, you pay for OnlyFans, you fucking loser. But when you look at the site, like you have like 30% of the guys that are paying for OnlyFans. So come on. I would say OnlyFans is a bit different because you can do it without being seen.
Yeah.
In a certain sense, you can keep it private. Rent a friend, I would say you can keep it private, but you can actually, if you don't have any other friend, you can. It's easy.
Yeah.
But yeah, to be fair, I would be like curious to try. Like how does it sound? How does it works? And people also say like, yeah, it's gonna be prostitution. I don't think so. I actually don't think it's gonna be prostitution because I don't think it's
the
what
need is
people
not here.
crave. Maybe it's gonna be like I think one of the hardest parts is gonna manage, like people are gonna fall in love with you
Yeah.
pretty fast. And so I think like the intimate part of the relationship is gonna be hard to manage, like definitely, because let's imagine like someone that rent a friend today is someone that is pretty lonely, and so let's imagine she or he rent you, okay, and he loves the time you got together, so he rents you again, right? And what's gonna happen is like for you it's just a joke, right? And so you do it, you like the guy, why not? Okay, but for him or for her, it's gonna be like the only relationship she had or he had like for the week, and he doesn't see anyone else, right? And so how the fuck at the end he or she doesn't get feelings for you? I don't see how it can't happen.
Yeah.
And so here I don't see how you manage this, because maybe it's the limit of this model, right? Because how do you do? Because the moment you say to her or to him like, yeah, no, we can't do this. I have a life. I have a girlfriend. We can still be friends, but I won't like do intimate relationship with you. You're gonna break the person's heart. She's gonna stop seeing you, right? And so maybe it's the limit of this, and maybe this is why you want maybe events that connects people to each other and not only with you, maybe. maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know, but yeah, I'm really curious to see how it's gonna go. And I think like human connection skills are gonna be fucking insanely valuable. And I think if you can pair this with like technical skills out of today, even if it's only with AI, if you're not too scared of AI slop, and you're not too scared of trying debugging AI with AI, good luck for this. But if you're not too scared about it, I mean, if you pair this with technical skill, you can have pretty easily a system that you can make people meet each other with a pretty much easy discoverable system with the web. And I see like AI, but you can even do it like the old way with the WordPress, right? I mean, come on, it's not that old and it still works. You can do it the old way with like a marketplace on Facebook or group Facebook or whatever. You don't have to build your own stuff at the beginning, right?
Yeah.
You can do it if you want, and I think you're gonna be faster and you're gonna be, I would say, more flexible if you do. But if you don't have the technical skill, like, what's the problem of doing like WordPress with the link on a private Telegram group? Like, it does work. It's not like user friendly, right? Or not the most, but it does work. People know how to use WhatsApp or Telegram or Line or whatever, and it works. So I would say, yeah, I would be curious to see how it goes, and I would try for our next podcast to push this line through, because it's easy to say I think it's gonna be this like in 20 years, but just get the idea right. I think I'm gonna try to push this idea through the concept and see how it goes, right? So right now, I would love to organize some events in Taiwan, in Taipei, to see how it goes. And I think the same stuff like rent a friend, it's pretty easy to try and just see how it goes, right? First thing I want to try, I would like, what happens is that if I rent a friend and see how it goes, like what's the experience, how it works.
Yeah, that'd be
And
interesting.
I would love to try the other way around. Like what if I am rented as a friend? I'm rented as a friend, and see how it goes too. And not to make a business of it, but just to understand what people are craving for. Because I think it's gonna be the next thing that people are craving. And also what I see in Taiwan is like, for example, in Taiwan, like because I said to you like food and commodities are gonna be cheaper and cheaper, right? And I would say like in Taiwan it's already the case, like food is like maybe 5 times cheaper than in France. Maybe more. Drinks maybe 2 times less. Furniture for apartments maybe like 80-70% of the price, depending on where you buy it. So it's, once again, it's like a bit like a jump in the future. Like everything is the same, but more efficient and cheaper. Which is a bit weird, because you could imagine like if it's more efficient, it's gonna be expensive. It's more expensive, right? But no, it's cheaper. And so, like, and people could say, yeah, but people in Taiwan earn less money, so it doesn't work. But no. If you do like the average salary, it does not track down at all. It's like they add their salary and what they spend way more on stuff or whatever than us, because they have way more. First of all, Taiwanese people, a lot of them still live with their parents, so they don't have any rent to pay. And rent in Taiwan is not that expensive, but I would say it's still valuable because you still need a place. So they live with their parents, so they don't pay any rent, and they would have a salary like between like, I don't know, like 50 and 80,000 NTDs. And just to give you an idea, like a restaurant meal is 100 NTDs. So if you eat every day in the restaurant 3 times a day for the month, you don't even spend 10,000.
Wow.
So you still have if I take 50 like the lowest, you still have 40 to spend, and all the other stuff is like basically like optional stuff like dress, perfumes, whatever. And actually, what's even funnier is like the more the stuff is optional, the more it's expensive. Like perfumes, it's Europe price, but food, indispensable. Like you can get a barrel for 20 NTDs. And this is what I did try. Like so a barrel, for people that don't know, it's like I don't know how you can fucking describe a barrel. It's like meat in some sort of bread, and you have 2 and you full. For me, I'm full. And 20 ATDs is basically like $60. 60 American dollars, maybe $70. And so, not 70 cents, my bad, 70 cents.
Sense, yeah.
And so you can have 2 bao and you're full. So it's like you eat for $1.40. And I tried this like for 2-3 days, and yeah, it worked, no problem. And it's like, oh yeah, so in a day I spend like €3 to eat, €1 to drink maybe, if you want to have something other than water, because water is free, it depends on how you see it, but you do still pay your bill, water. But that being said, you have free water at every 7-Eleven, so you can do it if you want. And so if you do this, well, you spend like €4 to €5 a day to eat, like €4 to €5 a day, like in daily in 50. So you have like, it's like €150 to eat per month. Like eat nothing. Like
Yeah.
if I compare with friends, with most of my friends or whatever, they spend maybe 800 to €1,000 per month to eat. So it's 10 times cheaper, right? And I think it's gonna be the trend. I think it's gonna be cheaper and cheaper, like when we go out. And I think maybe we're not gonna see it because you have like inflation, but what's gonna happen, I think, is like you're gonna have inflation and the price are gonna stay the same. So I think like in 20 to 30 years, about is still gonna be 20 NTDs, but people are not gonna earn like 40,000. They're gonna earn like maybe 200,000. And so as the power of buy, it's of course like way cheaper, even if it's the same price. And yeah, actually, like eating is cheap, drinking is cheap. And so if you do this, like even now, I think in Taiwan you can already see this happening. But people in Taiwan still work a lot, so you still have this kind of stuff that you can have like you can like meet people at work, and you can like spend your time at work. So it does answer a big part of the problems. So I'm pretty interesting like to see what's gonna happen. Like people don't need to work anymore, and I think it's gonna be weird because in Taiwan there is like a work culture that is pretty strong. So people are not gonna stop work like this. There is no way, because I do know some people that work. So they live with the parents, so they could not work, right? They could eat at the parents, whatever, right? No fucking way they do this. It's like it's a mindset. It's like no, there is no way I don't work. Like if you have a Taiwanese guy that doesn't work for 1 month, it's a fucking like weird guy. You need to work, right? You need to find a job. So I think it's gonna be, yeah. I'm really interested in how it's gonna play it out, and I do have the feeling in Asia that we quite in the future. We quite. I do have the feeling now that since I moved in, I did like a 3 to 5 years in the future next to Europe, like on all this kind of stuff. And I thought Taipei would be a city where it would be hard to meet people, because I thought everybody would be alone, right? Because of what I think. And actually, no, like people are craving to meet each other in real life. Like they are craving to do it. Like bar, restaurants, and stuff are full everywhere. And actually, I think like you want a business that's gonna be billions in 50 years, open a fucking bar, open a restaurant. It's like and your value is not the food or your drink. The value is that like what mood you create for people to come in. And it's insane. So yeah, I'm pretty curious how it's gonna go, but yeah, this is my conclusion. What do you think about it in Singapore? Do you see the same thing?
I don't see the same thing every day because I'm. So first of all, I'm not in the I'm not downtown. I'm not in where the most people connect. I'm far away from this area, a bit far off to the east side. And actually, as you say that, there is a restaurant in the university. So it's kind of insane. Within the university, there is a restaurant called The Bistro, where you can buy beer and drink beers with your friend within like the university walls. And no later than this last week, we learned that this restaurant is closing down. It's shutting down. Right?
What the fuck?
Yeah. So
it's closing down because they don't have. It doesn't work. People don't buy enough from them.
Yeah, they don't. They basically don't make enough money, and
fuck.
So the thing. So also something else, right? People here don't drink, basically, especially my age, right? Like
Oh.
people here that are Singaporean, that are my age, at least the one I'm around, they don't drink. They don't. It's not a thing to go after work, to go after a drink, have another drink or have a drink. It's like so it's very different. What I used to, right? Like actually, since high school, I've been going out drinking, right? And maybe you also like it was a thing to go like during the lunchtime. Sometime we'll grab a beer
Yeah.
after school when we finished earlier. This teacher is not here. Let's grab a beer, and then from high school to university, same thing, right? Every occasion was the occasion to grab a beer, and then first internship, same thing, and it was absolutely not an age thing. Everyone agreed that let's grab a beer, right? Everyone. So I think that we do have a very strong drink culture, and where I moved here, unless you go downtown where all the people meet and there is a kind of connection. It's very multicultural, but it's different. So it's not. It does not rely on the like Singapore traditional. So what they observe in actually these traditional places in Singapore that used to connect people, and there was lots of drinking going on, they kind of shut down, or it's been calming down a lot, because for example in Singapore you cannot buy alcohol after 10 p.m. right? In 10 p.m. Any shop will sell alcohol to you. So that means you will have to go to a specific place to drink. And even, for example, the bistro, even though they sell beer, they don't have the license to sell beer after 10 p.m.
Oh.
So it does limit the beer. I mean, that's like kind of like alcohol specific. But I do agree that there is this craving of connection. It's just that it's not happening in bar like we used to do, right? I think, and that's also something that is very present in Singapore. It's evolving so fast, right? So literally, I go away 2 weeks. I come back. There is a new MRT, so there is a new train station. Right, those kind of things happen, right? There's a new train station exit. It's now connecting the whole uni. It's like, what the fuck? Like, it's been 2 weeks, and these guys they just built this. And the same goes for shops that used to be the shops where you go buying your electronics or this specific stuff. Then they wipe out, and another shop open. You go to the canteen. So in the model here in Singapore, when you go to the food court model. So you go and you have all these different shops selling one specific item. Like you have the soup store, you have the noodle store, you have the chicken and rice store, and well, it only been a year, and it has been three shops that there's a turnover of 3 shops, right? So this shop closing down, this new one opening. And it's constantly changing very fast. And the same when you work in a company, these people, they'll I only work in the company I work here in. Well, it's actually it's called SA Academy, so it's like within the uni back office, and it's been what 8 months. Well, I feel like I'm a old. Someone that has been in the company around, because when I meet people, it's like, oh, you've been here for 2 months. Oh, I knew 3 months, and then 2 of my manager, I've been there before them. That's kind of funny. So, but it's just, I think it's moving faster, but. When so the next the bistro, the next place that is going to replace the restaurant closing, well, they will have to come with something that will fit the need of people. Like, it's not only like we want to have to meet there. It has to be something else, because if not, everyone because it's in the same time it's a university, right? So it's a university. People has a lot of different occasions to meet, and most of the time also like the people inside the bistro, they will not eat students. There were people coming from outside, or they were like having a meeting inside. It was kind of this setting. So yeah, I do feel the need of connection, but and then in the same time, I think right now people are telling themselves that AI can do it anyway. So they sit in a chair at home and they kind of like they are accepting this, but at some point there will be too much pain to handle, and they will like you said. I love the experience of like you put this batch of 100 people that stay at home, and 1 week of college life and drinking and do games and like the fucking each other,
Yeah.
all this kind of. I think they will actually have a lot of fun doing this, because that's something that they kind of don't do what I see around. So, but yeah, right now, the the trend is, I think, downtown will it's moving more, and there's more connections, but at my scale, I don't feel it so much, right?
Mm.
So we'll see.
So do you mean that in the school, like nobody speak to each other and it's okay?
So there is times like that, but actually, like in the school, like people do interact, right? And that's also like the thing is, the good thing is it's filter out naturally. That means like the people that comes, they want to speak out. They want to interact, right? Because right, you can nothing is stopping you from you staying at home doing your project and then comes at school to evaluate when it's done. But so those people, you will see them more or less often, but those who show up, they show up for the interaction. And actually, like myself, if I don't show up to the school, I know, I clearly know that I will not do the project, right? So I am pressured by my peers at school, and that's what is making me doing the projects, right? That's really the environment, and that's like it is like work. I know, like, if I have to come to work and to interact in real life and to see my coworkers, I will be more performant than whereas I stay at home and do like office, like remote work, because you don't have the same pressure, right? And if your manager is yelling at you in a video call, it's different. So yeah, for me, work like that. And I mean, definitely there is some people that I mean, my actual friends we are kind of the same vibe for that, but it's so far it's not I cannot feel the same as you. Like I cannot feel the crave and the people showing on the first occasion to meet, right? I don't feel this right now, or maybe also because the actual people that find out about 42, the thing is, like, 42 is a bit hard. So if you are just here for the connection and just to enjoy a time with the people, well, and then you don't actually want to learn how to code, then maybe it won't be enough to go through, right? You have to have that learning, that crave of learning, that also it has to be part of the of you making like the choice, like why in the first place you join. It cannot only be the connection with people, I think. But yeah, that's how I experience it right now. We'll see in the future. I do plan also to experiment a bit further, like on my environment, to interact with people that are outside this sphere, right? So then I can have a better idea of how it is going on, like in the country scale. Yeah.
Okay. Well, good. So I think we start to coming closely to the end.
Yep.
Do you have something you want to add for conclusion or maybe to something you would like to say but yet you didn't have the opportunity to.
So to conclude, right? To conclude, I thought about this earlier. So let's kind of do my prediction, right? My 10, because I mean 10 years is a bit, it's far, but my prediction is that in kind of a 5 to 10 year scale, is that this trend, like this trend of AI and people getting lonely is kind of like this LGBT trend, you know. So is this people being too extreme on some side, but when you actually consider these people and like like try to think like does this make sense, you quickly realize that they are miserable, right? And they kind of like, so there's two things. If they can influence so much, then they can, I mean, it's kind of like what is in Europe, it feels a bit like this, like it's getting chaotic, because this kind of what should just be a useless trend is taking so much power, because influence is getting into the people that have actually authorities on people. But here I mean, it does work at some extent, but and also Singapore, that's kind of, Singapore can be like more risky than maybe China or Taiwan, because Singapore is constantly changing, right? Like and it's changing fast. So maybe the trend, this kind of trend will come up here, and it will give the bright future that is looking. When you look at Singapore right now, you'll picture this country like very bright, and especially the future. But as it's moving very fast, maybe the wrong trend can like, and they're very hype about AI, right? You know, they can, I don't know if they will let the trend, the AI, and then the open cloud directing the whole country, or there will be some kind of like traditional value guy that will like say, like, let's stop this mess and let's keep building on good foundation, because they have like, I think they have very, very good foundation, right? To be able to make change that fast, that work, you have to have very good foundation, right? So yeah, for Singapore, I mean, I want to be optimist. I think the trend is just gonna go here, and it, as something that doesn't work, they're gonna like, it's gonna wipe away, and they're gonna keep building on something that works.
Yeah. Okay. Well, actually, I think I agree, because I would have said like, my conclusion is, if you want to be valuable in the tomorrow world, I would say in the short-term future, you need to be someone that understands the basics and the systems to be valuable, because this is what's gonna break with AI, and this is what's people not gonna able to do. So if I take the example of web app, you need to understand how works a server, how do you install Apache and Nginx or Node.js or whatever. You need to understand how different services communicate to each other and why it breaks. It's like really like the fundamental stuff that makes stuff works, right? And after, I would say like, next step, you need to invest in your human skills and connections. And I would say like, for the trend that you explain, and that you need to have good foundation to work. I think this is what people don't understand with AI, and your comparison with Singapore is pretty, I would say, on the spot, because AI is fast, right? You can change your code fast, you can do stuff fast, right? But like you said, like for it to work, you need to have like extremely good foundation, like for a country, right? You try to change stuff on a software that have no foundation, everything is gonna break really fast. And I think what people don't understand is like, to build this foundation, it takes a lot of time and skills. And you can't build these foundations for them to work good in every edge cases with fucking AI slop. It's just not possible. It's too complex to predict, and you have to adapt the foundation as you go, because you can't predict everything in one row. You need to have a first version. You make it production, and you discover that users are not behaving like you expect. So you need to change them so it makes them work. And you have like 3, 4, 5 versions, right? Something that AI can't do, right? Because it doesn't have the real-time data from the user to adapt, right? Maybe it's gonna happen after, right? But right now it's way far from this. So I would say, yeah, get the basics and the fundamental of what you're doing. Like, if you want to be a lawyer, like, understand the law as fuck. If you want to be an accountant, like, understand how accountants really work and what you need to do for your clients. If you want to do software development, understand how the systems work and talk to each other. And if you want to be 3D artist, understand how an image is generated and how do you do composition, how does it work, and how can you use these technical aspects to, for example, drive an AI or whatever. And I think this is not gonna change so fast. I think like even if I picture like in 5 to 10 years, because like the AI trend, for example, in 3D, the AI trend started in like end 2021. End 2021, the AI trend started. And I remember when it's gone, like people were saying like, oh my god, this is the end. Like this is the end. The job is ending, and that's it. And when you look at the numbers, I know only the number for France, but I think it's the same in the world. It's like since 2021, we have like so 8 times 6. We had like 8,000 new artists per year.
Okay.
So it just increased, it didn't decrease, right? So
a new artist per year.
So yeah,
8,000 new artists every year.
Yeah, and it's actually like the most we had in like history in France.
Okay.
And you can see, but why people think it's harder? It's like because with AI, everyone at this stage thinks they can do it, and when they started, it's like you just have more people that want to do it, and so the scarcity feels bigger because more people want to do it. But actually, in the raw number, it's strong. In the raw number, you have more artists today than before, and I think it's like it's exactly the same. Like AI won't save your lack of skill set and understanding. I think if once you understood this, it's okay. And I think if you have the understanding, it lets you even use AI in a smart way if you're not too dumb. But actually, I would say like sometimes the AI is so dumb in the meaning like it's so junior. Like sometimes it's just faster just to write a code yourself.
Yeah, very good conclusion. Like Jeff Bezos said, look at what worked 100 years ago, and if it was working back then, it will probably work in 100 years from today. So work on that. So, and that's basically how to influence people and make friends, right?
Yeah, exactly. Oh my god, it's exactly this. And because I think it's the skill on this is worse and worse, I think it's easier and easier to get out of the pool, right? And to have something, to have value. Because I would say that the skill level of the average people in any field is lower and lower today. And you could say like, well, so if it's the true how the world works, right? Because the world has never been as complex as today, right? It's because I think the average decreased, but the top performer are better and better.
Yeah.
But it's only like maybe 1 or 2% of the population that I actually think that it's 1 or 2% of the population that fucking makes the world running. And when you check, it's true. Like go to a fucking bank. A bank is extremely complicated, right? But you speak to 95% of the employees, they don't even know how works a fucking wire transfer. All right. So I think it's the same. And so I think if you are willing to go above the average, which has never been as low as today, have a lot of opportunities. You just need to move your fucking ass and stop like expecting AI to do the thing for you. I mean, come on, make an effort here. All right, okay. See you next week, and we will have like a lot of other stuff to do, and I will try to check and try the event stuff to see how it goes next week. And see how interesting stuff to tell about this later. All right, have a good day, everyone, and bye bye.
Yeah, ciao.
Ok, ça va pour toi?
Impeccable.
C'était marrant?
Ouais, c'était cool. On a